All right, today let's talk about studio monitor controls. For the past 25 plus years, I've never spent money on my monitor controls in my studio. I always just used a Behringer Powerplay headphone amp. And the way that I would utilize this is I would simply take the outputs of my interface into the back inputs, the global inputs of a Behringer headphone amp. That would give me 4 outputs to split headphones out throughout the studio. The problem was you really only have the one single input. So anytime I wanted to take another input and push that input through my studio setup, I would just have to literally take the controls of whatever else I wanted to put into that system and use a patch cable and go into my interface. So for years, I've just hobbled along on that, mainly because I didn't want to spend the money. There were other things I'd rather spend money on in the studio. This year, I finally decided to put a little bit of money into my studio control surface, giving me a little bit more flexibility. And Behringer has finally come out with a product that's really, really good for solving this problem without spending a whole lot of money. It's called the Behringer Control2USB. And this is a very affordable solution for most small home studio setups like mine. It allows you to easily toggle between up to 3 sets of studio monitors, and that just gives you the flexibility to have several different types of studio monitors if you want to monitor the source out of different sets of monitors. I personally do not use this feature, but it's nice to have it on the unit at this price point. It also gives you up to 4 stereo input sources. And multiple inputs is a feature that I've been needing for years. I've always wanted my computer to be a separate input so that if I'm on the web watching YouTube videos on my computer, I could actually dial in the actual computer as an input rather than taking the computer into the interface. So whether it's your phone or computer or another source sitting in your studio that you want to be able to ingest into those studio monitors, this solves that problem. Another nice feature is the inputs also have dedicated input controls to adjust the volume levels going into the unit for each individual input. It also has a built-in talkback function, another function that I personally don't use, but it's nice to have. It also includes a foot switch option jack, so you can use a foot pedal to engage the talkback function. It comes with mono, mute, and dim functions. They're all right at your fingertips. The mono option just allows you to hear your mix in mono to see if there's any phasing issues in the mix. It also comes with 2 separate headphone amp options and then 2 headphone outputs. The Control2USB employs VCA or voltage controlled amplifier technology, ensuring precise level adjustments of the large knob. And I really love the tactile feel of that really oversized large mastering knob. It looks great. The unit also comes with a large meter, and it gives you the ability to monitor both the input levels and switch over to monitor the output levels. The Control2 also features an incredible phono amplifier for turntables. And that's yet another source I have here in my personal studio that I've never had the option of flushing through the studio monitors just because I've never had the room to put that as an input. Last but not least, it actually acts as an interface. So if you wanted to use this as your sole interface, you certainly could do so. Now, the shots you've been seeing are not here at my home studio. They're actually at my work studio station. And the reason that I've been test driving this unit at work is because I actually have 2 separate computers sitting at that workstation, and this is really solving that problem because one computer is actually my video edit station, the other computer is my audio workstation. So in that case, I needed to be able to switch between the 2 separate computer sources when I'm editing video, and then when I'm sitting there and I switch over to start editing audio. It was really giving me grief going behind and pulling the patch cables and constantly switching the computers, because there's many cases when I'll honestly sit there and be working on one project, and then while it starts to render, I hit the display for my monitor to switch over to the other computer, and then I would be sitting there and like, oh, I've got to switch over the audio too. So this unit really solved my problem when it came to audio switching at my school work desk. My final thoughts: how useful is this product? Frankly, it's just going to depend on what your studio workflow is. For many of you, this could very well solve some of your problems in the studio. If you're just using a small home studio and you don't have to switch sources, you don't have a bunch of studio monitors to monitor back through, you may not even need this unit. But if you are using multiple input sources and you have multiple output sources, most units that you're going to find that are going to do what this unit does are going to cost you somewhere between $300 plus. You get quickly to $500, $600, even into $1,000 for some sort of control unit. And this one hovers right around $200, a little under $200 in most cases. So for many of you, this could very well solve your problems. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I can't wait to see you on the next video.